Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. It's really lovely to have you here. So, I've got these lovely Goddess Guidance cards. Doreen Virtue, very lovely. I thought I'd pick you two and put them to one side, and maybe it's something you need to hear today, or it may well tie in with your reading. I'll pop those there. I'll try to not to forget to look at them later. Right, in the meantime, I've got the Healing Light Tarot deck. I'm going to use these to find you a general overview of what's going on this week. So we'll make a start with this. 5 cards for you, Capricorn. Ooh, the Tower. Interesting start. 5 of Cups. 8 of Pentacles. Temperance. And the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, interesting week. So, the Tower. The Tower swoops in and clears the way for something new. It clears space, it sets us off on the right path. It can sometimes feel quite shocking at the time, but generally, by the end of that day, even by the end of that week, you're thinking, this is the best thing that could have happened to me, because without that, this wouldn't have happened. So, Tower. Don't know what area of life it could be in. Maybe it could be in something around the sort of the cups area, something that makes you happy maybe, or you thought made you happy, something related to home. But we've got this 5 of Cups here. 3 of Cups have gone over, and then there's 2 still standing. So it may well be that something's being taken away that you're going to feel a loss for, but actually it's leaving the space so that you can see the other 2 cups, because they're the ones that you need to be focusing on. They're the ones you need to be moving forwards on. So, you know, try not to dwell too long on what you've lost. Shift that perspective, have a look at what's still standing and what you've got left to move on with. This is, you know, like I say, it can be a scary card for some people, but I love a Tower moment because it gets us right on track. It gets us where we need to be going. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. That's working hard to hone your skills. It could be working hard to learn more. It could be a practical thing, but it's you just improving how you do something, and generally how you do the thing that you do for work. But actually, it doesn't have to be. If you're working on your house, maybe you're gonna go on a plastering course or learn something that's going to be helpful in a practical way. But it's certainly about learning, about improving yourself, improving your skills. We've got Temperance there, and Temperance is about balance. She's also about patience. So I think this week it's balance and patience is going to be a thing. Especially if things have been shaken up to a point where you're like, oh my goodness. I think you're just going to have to keep that balance, keep yourself on track, keep yourself grounded, and, you know, don't let yourself get knocked off track in any way. 10 of Pentacles. You're building a legacy. You're building a legacy for the future. I think you're in a good position. You've got everything you need materially this week for whatever you've got going on. Maybe this Tower moment. You just got to bring everything together and look at what you got and move forward in a very practical way. Right. Okay, Capricorn. Let's see what's been going on in the past, because, you know, the current energy, what's going on right now, isn't isolated. It's, you know, it's there's a root to it, there's history with it. So let's have a little bit of a look at what's been going on so that we can see how it's influencing what's going on with us, or with you even at the moment. Right, 3 cards, another 10 of Pentacles, the Moon, the Devil, Queen of Pentacles, the 2 of Wands, and the King of Wands. Okay, so again, we've got this 10 of Pentacles, and I very much think this is you building a legacy. I think you're doing something that is for the future, maybe for your children, maybe for others, maybe if it's in the realms of stuff that you're creating, you're bringing into life, and it's going to be for others down the line. But something material, something practical. Maybe you're building a house, maybe you're building a garden, maybe you're planting trees, fruit trees for future generations. There's something that you have been doing in the past, because this is past, let's not forget. Maybe this was a bit the beginning of you beginning to build your legacy. Queen of Pentacles, she is naturally abundant. She doesn't have to put any effort in. She's just vibrating at a high level so that things naturally flow towards her. So I think you've been in this good place in the past where you have been like really trying to bring something into life. I think you have been, you've had all the necessary material things that you've needed, and it's all been flowing to you. I feel like it's just been easy. Everything's gone together really nicely. All the pieces have slotted in. You've had everything that you've needed, and because this has felt really good to you. This has felt really right. And we've got the Moon and the Two of Wands. The Moon is about our deeper emotions. This has come up so much this week, I can't even tell you. This and the Five of Swords, the cards of the week, because we've had at the beginning of the week we had that Scorpio full moon, that very deep emotional moon, and I think a lot of stuff's starting to come up for a lot of people. We're starting to heal some stuff, get past some stuff, clear things, release things so we can move forwards. And in the past, I think you've had something very deep, some emotional stuff that's run really, really deeply, and I think it's had a connection to your future, where you want to go. It's had an effect on maybe the choices that you've made regarding your career. I actually want to say for a lot of you, it's these emotions, this maybe a little bit of fear tinged in the emotion. The deep emotional stuff has held you back and stopped you from making maybe the choices you should have made when it came to your career. Don't forget, this is past, so this could go way back to when you were a child, a teenager, making those important choices. We've got the Devil. That's very lower vibrational energy, very self-sabotaging energy, also very I can't energy. And so I think in the past you've been in this sort of place, a bit of a funk where you just nothing feels doable, everything feels complicated, everything feels hard, everything feels too big for you to do, and you're really struggling to move forwards. I think you're really just being held back by those negative vibrational feelings, emotions, behaviours, and it's just not helped you to move forward. I think there's been maybe connected to this stuff that's gone on in the past. It's really held you back in the past. So let's see what's going on right this minute, Capricorn. Where's your energy at? What's the energy around you? How are you feeling this week? Oh, I've got a random card that shouldn't be in here. Let's get it. There we go. Snuck its way in there. Right. 10 of Wands. 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, itchy nose. Page of Swords. The Hermit. 6 of Wands. The Tower. Okay. So at the moment, I think your energy is quite heavy. I think you're feeling quite weighed down. I think you're feeling quite burdened. I think things are feeling really quite difficult. I'm not saying that this isn't because it's of your choice. It may well be that the things that you're feeling weighed down with are actually your choice. They're actually of your making. Maybe you've piled this stuff on yourself. But there's certainly a weighty energy around you at the moment, and I think it's causing you to maybe have a little bit of a look inside, to examine what's going on your inside world, to figure out why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, and trying to getting to know and find a bit of wisdom about your inner landscape, because obviously we've got the Tower card here, and that sense of loss. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles as well. 9 of Pentacles, it's about reaping the benefits, receiving the benefits of all your hard work. So, you may well be feeling burdened and weighed down and got some stuff going on that you're working out on your inner world. But I think practically, you've been working really hard. I think you have been, excuse me, the dog's barking her head off because the post lady's here. Do apologise. If you can hear her, that is. So you've been working really hard, and I think you're starting to reap those benefits. You're starting to feel the benefits, and I think you're starting to be noticed. I think, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever this project is that you are building a legacy with, I think, you know, you're being seen. You know, people are saying, oh, you did a brilliant job. Oh, this is great, and you're being celebrated for all of your hard work. And you're feeling it as well. You know, I think things are really shifted, and I think, you know, you are starting to reap the benefits. So we've got the Page of Swords, and she's having a new inspiration. Then we've got the Tower card. The Tower, it doesn't have to be physical, it can be mental. So I think there's a massive shift, a massive epiphany that's going to go on or going on in your brain at the moment. I think there's been a massive light bulb moment, and it's completely shifted the way that you're looking at something. Whether that's allowing you to, you know, to focus on what you've still got, shifting your brain and you know, seeing what amazing things you've got in front of you, relating to that previous tower. But there's certainly a lot of shifts going on, a lot of either physical shifts, I think for most people, and for some of you, that mental shift, that mental epiphany of completely changing the way that you're thinking about things. So current energy is one where you're really starting to feel the benefits of what's going on. I think you're feeling quite heavy though as well, and it's because of what's going on. You know, you're having to take a little bit of a look at what's going inside. I think you're feeling a bit weighed down with that. And then you're just having this mental epiphany, this light bulb moment that's really shifting the way that you're thinking. Right, let's have a little bit of a look. Future energy. Capricorn, what's going on in the future? Don't forget, if you like this reading, it'd be amazing if you could give it a thumbs up. If you let me know what's going on with you, always love to know. Oh. Got hairs. Cat hair all over me. Oh dear. Right, sort yourself out, Lisa. Constantly covered in cat hair. Bear, my new office personal assistant, is extremely hairy and very molty at the moment, and it's that lovely shade of cream that stands out on everything. Right, Eight of Pentacles, another one. You're working really hard at the moment on something, on this thing that is, you know, you want to have longevity, that you want to build for yourself and maybe your family. The Sun, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. So you're working really hard at the moment. You need to not overthink it, not overwork that brain of yours. I think you're in danger of a burnout if you're not careful. So, you know, try not to overanalyze, try not to overthink, try and keep things simple, because often they very much are. And I mean, I've got this card could have been invented for me. You know, I'm a massive overthinker. I've had about 10 different thoughts before someone's even took a first breath when someone says something to me. And I've analysed it from every different direction before I've even thought about actually doing it. And it's exhausting. It's really exhausting. But often I overcomplicate things, because things are often more simple than we think. So I think when it comes to your work and it comes to moving forwards in this future energy, don't overcomplicate things. Things are simpler than you actually think they are. Try and remember that when something comes up and think, it's not it's a simple version. Excuse me. We've got the Sun there. Beautiful sunshine. I think the future energy is lovely. Queen of Cups, you feeling a more stable emotional state after this Hermit energy and the Moon energy and the Tower. I think you're feeling just more chill, more stable. Everything's feeling good. Everything's feeling bright, sunshiny, and you know, I think you're just being a little bit kinder to yourself moving forwards. Then we've got the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Nine of Wands is about being persistent, just really going for it, moving forwards. Despite the fact things may have been tricky and difficult in the past, You're just keeping at it. You're keeping eyes forward and getting on with the show. Queen of Swords, starting to see things clearer, starting to have more understanding maybe about a situation, and just navigating your way forward using this information. But I very much feel like you're working really hard, you're feeling the benefits, you're starting to be noticed. You just got to have some patience. You're building this legacy, and that's not going to happen overnight. Have some patience, have some kindness for yourself, and know that this shift, I think you're going to have two shifts, to be honest. I don't think it's one. I think you're going to have a physical shift and a mental shift. And I think it's pivotal. It's important for you to go down this different path, because this is where you're meant to be going. The universe knows where you're meant to be going, and it'll often give you clues, give you hints, give you this way, and we just go, oh no, what's that over there? Let me just look at that over there, and then in the end, the universe just goes, clears that out of the way, and goes, no, I said this way. And then we just, we get forced to go down there, and it is the right route for us. So I've had lots of tower moments in my lifetime, and they always are the best thing. Right, we've got these two cards. Bast, independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. I'm not going to say anything else on that, because if you know, you know. You're independent, it is your strength. Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. This is all about you. You have got confidence. You know what to do. You know the direction to go in. You are strong. You are independent. You can do this. You've got this. You have got this. Just be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't overdo it. And just be patient. Right, Capricorn, I am going to leave it at that. You take care of yourself. Stay rooted, stay open, stay magical, and I will catch up again with you very soon. Don't forget, every weekend, Saturdays, messages from your higher self. Sundays, pick a card. I think I'm going to do it on love and relationships this weekend. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Take care of yourself. See you soon.